So we're live on YouTube and I'm going to start the recording.
Thanks, Shali. I will call the Citizens Association of Santa Clara County Executive Committee meeting to order at 2:09 p.m. on September 27th. Thank you all for making the time to be here. Shali, can you please call the roll?
Lisa Flagger.
Here.
Larry Klein.
Here.
Tina Walia.
Here.
Hung Wei. Margaret Abikoga. With 3 present, we have quorum.
Thank you, Shali. Next, we'll move to comments on non-agendized items. Do we have any public comment?
None online.
Thank you. And I have been losing my voice on and off for the last several weeks, as you know. We'll move to the formal agenda. And the first item is our consent agenda with 1 item, which are the minutes from our last executive committee meeting. Do we have any questions or comments? And if not, I'll look for a motion to approve it, and then we can see if there's any public comment.
Motion.
Motion to approve.
Second by Klein.
Any public comment on this item, Sean?
No public comment.
And then we can call the roll. Okay. And we're all here, so I think we can just say all in favor.
Okay. A motion to approve the consent agenda as presented by Walia, second by Klein. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. So I have 3 things I wanted to discuss with the executive committee as part of the presidential update. The first is actually the holiday party. As you know, we went back and forth at the last 2 meetings about, is it the Thursday on the 12th or the 13th? And Shali and we landed on the 13th at the last board meeting. And Shali and I have been calling around, and either places already booked for the holidays, it's a Friday night, or it's very expensive. There is a Los Altos restaurant that has offered to do it on the Sunday, the 15th. Would work within our budget. It's a very nice restaurant. And so I wanted to discuss with the executive committee about how they feel about going back to the board next week and just saying, can we move it again to Sunday the 15th? It would be wonderful. Like if we are able to get this restaurant and he's willing to do it on the 15th, it would be a Sunday. There are less holiday events on a Sunday. So I'm in favor of it, but of course, that's what I love about the executive committee. You guys are gonna raise issues that I haven't thought about. Another good thing is it's only October, so I feel like people can still move around their schedules. So what are your thoughts on this? Tina,
I'm checking my calendar first to see just.
I'll just update you with, I did call Rustic House and I spoke to their events person. Their room can't accommodate our party and it would have to be a cash bar and it was just cost prohibitive. It was over 150 per person.
Oh yeah, no. But Kim is telling me, but this would actually work within our budget. It would be great.
There's a different place that you're talking about.
It's a Los Altos restaurant.
Okay, and remind me again the reason we didn't want to do Thursday.
We brought it to the board and we offered both, and people voted for doing it Friday over Thursday because of the change, the
Cupertino and Los Altos Hills both have their seating meters. Yeah.
Have we confirmed it since?
Yes.
This year as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I did before the board meeting.
we discussed that at the last board meeting. So that's
Okay.
how we ended up with the 15th, that Friday night. And that's the challenge. I mean, the fallback, if we decide we want to stick with Friday, it's using a city facility, which we would like not. Like we want to go somewhere else. Like I think it would be really nice to have it in a Los Altos restaurant downtown and have it decorated for the holidays, and it's beautiful and it's nice and it's different. We've had so many events here. And I actually like doing it Sunday evening. I actually think this Friday night is hectic, there's more traffic.
And parking won't be an issue.
And parking wouldn't be an issue. I actually like it on the 15th, but I'm always, wondering if there's something I'm not thinking of, apart from the fact that we have to go back to the board and get them to vote to change it again. But if you make the arguments about why it makes sense to move it to the Sunday, I actually would be everything.
So parking is available there.
Okay, Sunday there'll be parking. Less traffic because people will be coming from work on Friday.
Yeah.
A lot less expensive if we do it on the Sunday
Or what they're gonna charge us.
than what they would charge on a Friday.
Yeah, Friday will be.
For the holidays,
Yeah.
they're like these.
So Sunday, we know it'll fit our budget. Have we done that homework before we go to the board? That's my question. I am fine personally. I don't have anything. But I'm thinking there may be a lot of people, it's Christmas time, who may have some holiday. That's my only concern. Could be Sunday, I don't know.
I think there are more events
On
happening
Friday.
on Friday compared to Sunday.
Agreed.
And it's not the Sundays where you have like church events yet, 'cause, you know, you always have the week before Christmas and every day, because I grew up,
Yeah,
So the 15th would be, I would say, the last Sunday to do it, if we're doing this.
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And it would be in the evening,
It would be in the evening.
even less
Right.
I think even less conflict.
Oh,
But
5
some
p.m.,
people go
6
to
p.m.
do stuff after church sometimes.
Yeah,
And our South County folks, they'll have an easier time coming.
Okay.
I mean, so I thought about it, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, and he said, let me know. So if you guys approve the change, then we need the board to approve it. So what I will do is I'll confirm, so now that I have your support, I will confirm. I'll confirm, and Andrew, any concerns?
No, not from a process perspective, no.
So now that I have your support for this, I'll get more information, so when we present it to the board this week. We can say, we propose doing it, and here's why. I didn't want to talk to the restaurant without knowing that we were seriously considering. So I'll look to both of you as well at the board meeting next year to help me.
I know we do.
We'll get, if Margaret's there, just give Margaret a heads up.
Right.
And find out if she's available.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
Have we checked with? Who did we decide to award this?
So that's the next topic.
By-
So there are two awards, at least two awards we do every year,
Yeah.
to an individual and to an organization. I think I've shared already that the person I'm proposing is Joe Sminian. I do need to check if he's available, and once we decide, I'll confirm he's gonna be available. So Joe would be champion, and then for the organization, this is what I'm proposing, your feedback. So as you know, we've made mental health our central theme for the year. And so I was thinking momentum for health with David Manetta. Remember, he was one of our speakers. They're doing a lot of wonderful things I hear throughout the county. I'll tell a brief story for our event. He had, I don't know which of his children was graduating that Saturday. I think it's Santa Cruz County, and he and his family were actually planning to drive down for the graduation on that Thursday. But because of our event, he had his family wait till Friday morning to drive down for the event. But you know, that he made the time for our event. It's a great organization. It ties in with mental health. Love your feedback on momentum for health. I do think we should find a mental health organization because it ties in well with our theme. And because Momentum for Health did our event, and I can talk about what they've been doing. El Camino, I think, got enough attention, but like they got many thanks and kudos at that event. Cassie, you know, we're all good friends with Mariko. Marika says great things about Momentum, so I know, you know, she won't feel slighted from a Cassie perspective. So any other organizations or thoughts on doing Momentum for David?
Okay.
Any other? No. So it would be Joe and Momentum.
Yeah, so you want to check with these two for their availability for the 15th?
Who's 50?
And still check with them.
Hold it.
Because if they
Correct.
can't come, then.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't do it in, you know, the honor and absentia, but.
Right. Well, we actually haven't checked if they're even available on the 13th yet.
Oh,
Yes.
so yeah, check for
Right.
availability.
As a matter of fact, I think, well, Joe's last board meeting is like December 9th, so he'll be in Mary are going to jet.
So,
I'll buy it.
so, you know, I was looking at that when we talked about where we start doing it on a weekend, like a Sunday night. Like I was already talking next December, do we want to do it a week earlier? If we're gonna do it on Sunday,
Then do it the week early.
might as well just
And Sunday may be a good day
the
to do it.
first Sunday, because most cities do events the first Saturday. tree lightings and all that.
No.
The next evening is usually free, but
I would propose,
I think next year.
I think next year we should get, because Fridays are hard.
Yeah.
And like more expensive because it's the holidays, unless you use a city facility. Last year it was that Mountain View facility,
Yes.
which we hadn't used before, and it was beautiful, so that made sense. Yeah. Okay, so Joe and Momentum for Health, and then the last thing, just a reminder. The nominating committee, Larry Klein, Sheila and I issued the memo about the nominating process, and so if you're interested in applying for any of the positions, applications are due October 4th. They need to be sent to our executive director, Shelley. They have till next Friday.
What's the, I saw the email. I will print it. So what's the format for that? What do you need?
It says in the email, it says, just an email saying your name, the position you're interested in, a brief bio, and why you're running for the position.
So brief bio and why running. I know at SVCE, we do like a paragraph for everything together. At Cities Association for other positions that we go through, city selection committee,
Right.
I've seen longer
It
resumes.
depends. I don't do long, some people will do very long.
Okay.
People, like, I'll do a letter, but I've
Okay.
seen longer and I've seen people just do 2 lines. I'm not kidding, because
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay,
because remember, at the board meeting, you get to give a speech. And how long have you been on it? And that, yeah. I mean,
oh, speak at the board meeting for a minute.
And will you be interviewing?
so well, it depends. If there are no challenges, if it's just one person per position, then there's no need for interviews.
Okay.
But if we do have more than one applicant for each position, we'll be doing interviews.
Would you like me to send an email out next Wednesday? So it'll be a week since,
To remind.
to remind them that the deadline is Friday?
Please. And if they can- Yeah. Especially if none is coming.
I
But
saw,
people, so I know people have received it. Right?
Yes,
I know
yes.
this, but, reminding them that if they're interested, there's actually a deadline.
Yes.
That would be nice. Yeah. So Tina, Larry, anybody watching the video later, if you're interested in applying for any of the positions, please get your application. And that's it for my president's update. Any public comment?
None online. Oh, not online. Sorry.
Thank you. And then our JPA formation update, and I'll turn it over to Shali and Andrew.
Andrew, do you want to go first, or do you want me to just very briefly discuss the Form 700 stuff?
You can go ahead first, Shelley.
So I did sign up for a training for Form 700 filers, which is later in October. But Kim Forrester, who we've been working with at the county, was super gracious and offered to walk me through the process. So what I have done is all of our board members, our alternate board members, and me, Jenny, and Andrew as consultants, I have entered our names into the e-disclosure system so that next year folks can just file their Form 700 electronically. What happened was, as soon as I added a person, it generated an email, which I believe caused a little bit of confusion.
I did get one of those emails, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't see you on Friday. I'm like, oh.
I know, I was like, okay.
I don't know why, I just wanted you to be aware.
Well, you're
because
not
I'm
the
like,
only one. who-
That's why I quickly sent it to you.
Yes, so before I finished inputting everybody, I kind of took a pause and sent an email. Kim Forrester helped me shape that email, just to explain to everyone that you are now being entered into the system, and since you've already given me your Form 700, disregard the email from the county. Then I went back. Probably should have sent that email first, but I didn't think the emails would go out like this.
Learn as you go.
Okay. But yeah, but it was a very simple system, and so I'm excited. And it'll be a lot less work for all of us next year to just do it electronically.
And we're using it. So you
We do
mentioned,
it once for the county and apply it to everything, which is kind of nice.
It is cool.
so Shali and Andrew, you mentioned board members, alternates, what about city selection committee and ledge? Do they need to do any Form 700? Okay. Just board and alternates.
Just for,
Okay.
and of the consultants, it's just me, Andrew, and Jandy who are, because technically, Baird and Driscoll are community plan collaborative. They're also consultants, but they don't provide like regular service the way me, Andrew, and Jamie do.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, because I did ask Ken, like,
That's great. So. Question based on what you said. So for any of us who is filing the Form 700 for anything else county related, this will just pop up, so we only file it one time. This will just get added to it, correct?
Okay, you check the box,
We
you'll
check
check
all
all
the
that.
boxes for all the
Yeah.
county commissioners.
That's what I vaguely recall from some couple other things.
Yeah.
I mean, alternate on things that I've never actually.
Oh, I know.
Attended, but I had to file for. The confusion is something for you to be aware. The year could be somebody missed on January 20th through January 19th of next year. Somebody will get my thing into a December date. So just an FYI, there may be someone who is heavy trader who may have issues with the dates being different, because I get that.
Right.
We get assignments allocated in December, and soon after we go into vacation. So whatever our admin has sent to some of these other county boards or whatever, some of them will send me right away and count my 3 weeks starting there. I don't even get it till January 8th. I sometimes get like 4 days and I'm freaking out for the first one. It happens every year for me. And somebody else will do the start date of January. And so that's how I look at it. And I have so far not encountered that issue, that the stagger of the 3 week or whatever that happens. But this is just an FYI for you in case someone else asks you, that can happen, because we don't know.
I'll be sure to ask that when I go to the training in mid-October.
Yeah.
I might circle back with you to kind of get the exact issue.
Sure, yeah.
For all of us, because our JPA formed February 1st, so for all of us, the assuming office date was February 1st.
Okay.
For everybody,
So next year, would it still be February 1st or Jan 1st?
probably January when.
Which is holidays?
Well,
Yeah,
I can
Andrew,
defer to Andrew.
Yeah,
Andrew, next year when we get new board members for the cities association, and I enter them into the system, what would their assuming office date be? Would it be February 1st or Jan 1st or?
It would be 30 days from when they assume office.
so they're two different things, Andrew, because obviously they'll get elected in November,
Right?
but their councils, and every city council has a different date. Their councils may not appoint them to the cities association board until various dates in December and January, just depending on the council. So should we just tell them 30 days from whenever they're appointed to the board?
Yes.
Is that it?
That is why the staggering dates that I'm mentioning.
Yeah.
Because I go through it, it always surprises me in January that I've got like less than, and often my husband is traveling that time, he's in India, and if I miss it, I ran into that earlier this year, I was left with 3 days. They gave me a week, I was very busy for a few days, and suddenly had 3 days, and he was in India, and I was at a wedding, and so I just suddenly had to scramble.
Yeah, I guess one way we could try to establish a uniform deadline in terms of this is just specify that when they make an appointment, the appointment needs to be as of a date certain and make sure that everyone has the same starting date.
Great suggestion.
So I don't know if we want
That
to
would
use
be
that.
the first, so that would be January 1st.
Okay,
Right, we'd say
Because
we're
let
looking
me just because I like that suggestion. And they could make it effective January 1st, even if the appointment happens after January 1st. They just need to make sure when their councils make the appointment, have the mayor and city clerk say it's effective January 1st.
okay.
I have a further suggestion. If that works, why not share it with the rest of the county folks? I'm not creating work for you, just a thought.
Right. Good practice. Practices.
Yeah, that's it. I'll leave it there. It's already too much information in what I have
No, that's a
shared.
great suggestion. Yeah, because everybody's different. Yeah, okay.
So just 2 other things that I just want to briefly touch on. So as you know, the full board is going to be considering the anti-harassment policy at the next meeting. Hopefully that will be able to progress. And I just want to highlight for the executive committee that our next project in terms of JPA formation and such is working with Shali on a record retention policy. And part of that is not just sort of drafting a policy, which is easy enough, But part of that project is also going to be reviewing what we currently have in storage. Shally has made various allusions, some sort of storage unit or facility that I think we will jointly explore. And we will discover many unexpected things, I imagine.
Larry will go on that road trip with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we need to determine what we actually have, and I'm not sure if any of us really know for certain.
It was funny when I was treasurer. We would have that recurring monthly charge for the storage, because we had it, at least back when I was treasurer. Shally, do we still have that storage unit?
We do.
Yeah,
We do.
no, and I would see it and I was like, are we? Yeah. And no one knew it was actually being stored. We just knew it was like our documents in the storage that we paid for.
You're right, and we are
Okay,
still
no,
paying for it.
thank you. Oh, we're still paying.
Right.
Oh yeah, we're still paying for it.
Maybe we don't need to.
Yeah, I think that obviously that would be ideal. Hopefully, it's a lot of things that at a minimum can be converted to electronic form. I mean, even if it does require a lot of scanning and such, I just don't think it's very useful to hold on to a lot of paper files in this day and age. So we'll do what we can.
No, thank you, Andrea. Was there a third thing?
No, that was it. Those are just the two items I want to provide a brief report on.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
the anti-harassment policy will be on the next board meeting, and then a heads up that the record retention policy will be next in line.
Yes, at some point you will see that coming your way. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Any more questions, comments? If not, any public comment on item 3?
No public comment.
So we'll move to item number 4. And the reason why this is on the agenda is Shally had asked me, I think prompted by Tina, thank you, Tina, if we were going to have an executive committee meeting, is it Thanksgiving? And so I said, you don't need an executive committee meeting because there's no real board meeting in December for the holiday. But I wanted to check with the executive committee to make sure everybody's comfortable not having an executive committee meeting in November, because you can find another date if people felt like we needed to show up at the executive committee. I'm fine, right? Because the next meeting is the holiday.
Yeah, I'm totally fine.
Okay.
And Larry, I spoke on behalf of both of us because we did SPCE for that Friday. I'm like,
Or are you guys doing it for SCCE? You're still
yeah, that
having-
Friday. That's why I emailed her
Oh,
that
that's
you
what
won't
you're
even
doing
have
for
quorum
you.
for the November because both of us are in the exec committee there.
Right, but
He's a
you
ju-
guys decided as SPCE
We
to
did.
do it.
We did.
Okay.
We did. So that's not the issue. My issue here was to flag it for you and Shally that you will not have quorum last
Right.
time.
And then so we're raising it, not that we don't have quorum, but we're raising it maybe,
Yeah.
we even need it. And so I said, no, but let's check with the executive committee, because it's a holiday. Sure.
SEC is having it because we do have a board meeting at this time.
In December.
We're talking about the November executive committee meeting.
So our last
Okay.
executive committee meeting, the actual. And that will just kind of.
Prepare for November.
Yes, and now, but let's just cover holiday part, we can talk about the agenda.
Okay.
But we'll make sure the October executive committee meeting covers November, December, because it's the last one. So that's why it's on the agenda. Any other questions, comments? If not, public comments on item number 4. And let's make the, well, obviously not, but just even though Margaret isn't gonna come to any more meetings, still give her a heads up that we canceled.
Okay.
I will announce it at the board meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hung did jump back into the race.
Okay, so moving on to item number 5, and I'll turn it over to Shally.
So this is kind of our standing agenda item, and I just wanted to talk to you guys. So if you look at the draft board agenda, which should be in front of you. I haven't heard back from Gabe about the fleet electrification. He thought that would be a good topic to bring in front of our board. And then he's reached out to, I think, Ned and Milpitas, and I don't know who in San Jose, to see if they'd like to take the lead on that. So I have not heard back. So I guess it's up to the executive committee whether we keep that or we swap it out for something else, perhaps arena update.
I thought we had identified something to swap it out with.
Arena.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of waiting until today to see if there was anything.
So, and I should have said it at the beginning, so Gabe is actually at an ICMA conference and he had reached out asking should he send Anthony. we do dark Friday, like I didn't wanna have Anthony come in, so I actually told Gabe it was fine. And he will provide an update over email, so I think as an executive committee, we can say, you know, if Gabe lets us know by Monday, and I'll text him that they can do it, we keep it on the agenda. If he says no, then we do the RENA. And it's not just RENA, it's the housing element update. We just wanna do a roundtable, so we can communicate back to ABAG about Santa Clara County's experience with the housing element update, even BAFA. It's gonna be like I wanna do like a housing roundtable with us to give feedback on our experiences, like the housing element update, things we liked, things we didn't like. Areas for improvement, which ties into the RENA, and then also, you know, feedback for BAFA. What they need to know, because right now they are looking at, you know, if they move forward with another bond, what should and can they do differently?
So we want to do this in October?
So we'll definitely do it either October or November. So if Gabe is ready to go with electrification in October, we will do the housing wrap up in November.
That would be my preference because I can't be here October.
Okay.
I would really like that because I have been very engaged. I was the one for my city running that whole thing with the housing. I'm very engaged.
I knew.
So
So
just a heads up.
maybe, no, so maybe we find, so Sean, let you and I figure out if Gabe doesn't wanna do this, let's find another item. And maybe we just don't do it, because we're always trying to do an hour and 45 minutes and everybody takes it. So maybe we just not have anything fill gaps, you know, if Gabe isn't able to do it, we just don't put anything. And then a scheduled half meeting, even though it's
I'll put that down for November then.
the housing roundtable.
Yeah,
Okay.
and sure. And then the other thing is, I think I got an email from Bay Area Host Committee. Well, actually, I won't go into this, but, because we're not up to the agenda yet. But we may have to push them to a future date, but we'll get to that one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. I think that's it. I think it was either A or B, like either this or that. And I think that was what I wanted to discuss. Yeah, that's it.
Any questions, comments on item 5 before we see if there's any public comment? Any?
No public comment? Just a quick question. Do we have to vote to cancel the last executive committee meeting? And do we have to vote to cancel the executive committee meeting? No.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
It's just a scheduling.
Thank you.
matter.
We'll move to item number 6, which is review of our agendas, and we're not having a ledge committee meeting. And so we're doing a city selection committee meeting and the regular meeting, and I'm turning it over to Mayor Klein, who chairs the CSC.
Yeah. So from I think from an agenda standpoint, this is pretty much given. I can't remember what seats are actually open here or how much which are up for renewal.
So this is why it took me a little bit longer to get this to all of you.
Okay.
Because I did go back and talk to Alec and looked at my LAFCO notes. So what you see here is after I'd kind of gone back and looked and tried to zero in on what seats are available. Like Bachmed, for example, the city selection committee only appoints 2 out of the 4 seats that Santa Clara County is allotted. And Vicky and Sergio, both of their terms expire before February. So February 2025 is when our next city selection committee meeting will be. And it expires before then. So which is why their seats are on here.
So you're saying you would need to make the appointment effective for whatever date they need to step off?
Exactly.
Okay.
When is there, how often do they meet? I can't remember. That's fine. That's Bachman.
Yeah, so that's Bachmed. Alec, what happened is we did appoint Lisa Matichak and Russ Melton in February. However, Lisa decided to not accept the appointment. And so her seat has been open since.
Okay.
What is that?
Isn't Lisa termed out?
And
Lisa's termed out
Yeah,
next
she is.
month.
She's done at
She's
the end
done.
of the year. So,
But her appointment was supposed to end May 6th.
Right, but
And she
6
got
and
it.
1/2 of, she's termed out anyway, so you would need to fill it. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
So Airport Land Use Commission.
Is that, geographically driven? Like, is it north?
So the Airport Land Use Commission, it says, the seats are available to cities who, I don't think border airports is the right word, but
Adjacent.
yeah, exactly, which is why you have Russ Melton there from Sunnyvale. And apparently Murli Srinivasan is on there too,
He's,
as an
he's
alternate.
our alternate from, it's kind of an interesting thing, because he's our alternate from the city standpoint, but I don't know if that's Russ's. I don't know. So the question is, some of these are Santa Clara
Yes.
County appointees, and some of these are cities have their own appointee. I'm not sure off the top of my head which is which.
So the confusing thing is Leslie Clark, he's the clerk who clerks Alec. And sent a letter out to 6 people, one of which is Murli Srinivasan, saying, your term ends May 6th. If you want to re-up it, contact Shali Sirke. And so people are kind of confused between Cities Association and City Selection Committee. And we do the administrative stuff for it, so I get it. But if the city of Sunnyvale has appointed Murli, then he should not be
It
contacted.
should be the city of Sunnyvale. Should be Larry.
But
I'm teasing.
But this is, according to this, and I'm checking my own notes for my city. So our city, and this is always an interesting thing from a selection standpoint.
This is who's.
I think Glenn is the previous person, Glenn Hendricks.
Yeah.
Chose, which was our appointee from Cities Association, created the concept of an alternate for if he couldn't make it, and Russ took that alternate. And then Russ became the primary when Glenn left. And Russ has chosen Murli as the alternate from the city standpoint. Now, I'm not sure of the legality of that, and
So Russ just continued the whole Sunnyvale succession.
Right. according to
Instead
this.
of bringing it back to us to
Here.
pick an alternate.
According to this, it's like we choose an alternate, we choose a primary in a city, and the city decides that if I can't go, then I'll just send my alternate.
So do we have an opportunity then at your meeting next Tuesday? So let's do it regardless.
Can you talk to AOUC?
Yeah, for
Can you
sure.
talk to ALOC and ask, is there a concept of an alternate, and if there is, should the city have 2 primaries and 2 alternates? Or is it okay for the primary to choose their alternate? To me, it would be, if we can actually get people to be here, because like, look, Lisa did a month and decided not to even come back, and we've lived with that for a while.
So do you understand the question though, Jolly?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Because the other person, you all know who a Robert Holbrook is?
I don't
The name
recognize.
is very familiar.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but apparently, so he got the letter also. And Lisa Matichak said, I'm stepping down and send everything to my alternate, Robert Holbrook.
That's where it is. No.
But I don't think he's city.
He's not. He's definitely like, yeah. Not on Mountain View.
So I'm gonna ask Alec if they have an alternate. Or are the cities allowed to designate their own
Yeah.
alternates?
Wouldn't there, sorry, I'm jumping in, I don't know about any of these specific ones, but I explored this for 2 things 2 years ago in representing the West Valley cities, because I was chairing that mayors and managers non-contact meeting. And for the regional interoperability something. Yes, thank you. And there was another thing, we had to do our VTA hack or VTA something, not VTA hack, VTA hack we sent from our city itself.
Right.
But there was something else, every few years, it's rotating between the 5 cities, and there was some, let's call it gray zone. I'm describing what I heard from all.
Right.
So I worked with my city manager at that time to clean it up, and he went way back, and for the SVR, I think, yeah. he pulled the bylaws. And gradually, the way things had been operating, just like what I understood from Larry right now, things had been diluted and kind of, taken a life of its own. So my only suggestion here is, and you can make sense, maybe for each organization, they need to check what their bylaws are.
Yeah.
So that we don't hold, and we clean it up at our end there in a very open manner.
Right.
Right, and that's the whole thing of a check with them, what we've done from a Sunnyvale standpoint. It sounds like Lisa chose an alternate that isn't even a council member, that's now supposedly representing us to some degree.
And maybe there's no requirement in the bylaws for it to be a council member. Some don't require council members.
But if there's the need for an alternate, conceivably that's something
In the
that
cities association,
we should be
be
appointing.
doing. Yeah, they can't just on their own be picking alternates.
So I had looked at the RWRC bylaws because we had a huge issue, as Larry knows, earlier this year and late last year. So,
Andrew's
and
even
Andrew's
nodding.
nodding, everybody's nodding.
No, the
It's
issue.
quite an issue. And so actually, so I will request a copy of everybody's bylaws for my own,
Yeah,
but I will talk to them. Well, actually, then getting back to this, RWRC, the seat that's empty is Carmen Montano's seat. And I distinctly remember when the election.
she said she was not, so, did we ever remember? Carmen doesn't remember volunteering for it. And I keep, cause this has come up before. Cause Sean has recollected, I think we should just watch the video, but is the term up, so it's a mute, like, can we just
No, the
mute
term
it?
is not.
Okay, Carmen doesn't remember raising her hand for it, Shelley records that she did. So on paper, we've had Carmen,
And actually, I have.
But she hasn't gone to any meeting. at this
No.
point.
cause she said she doesn't remember volunteering.
And I have the record of votes.
Right, that's fine.
Sometimes people forget.
But the bigger thing is after that, so it's a process standpoint, after we appoint, that board should be reaching out and,
Cause you
doing
send
the
the
on-
names,
doing-
you send the names.
I with the copy of the minutes,
yeah.
so that's like the proof of.
What I'm hearing is, sorry, I'm jumping in, what I heard from Larry just now. What is the process once the cities association has, through the city selection committee, we have appointed people to these separate and specific committees. They go to those individual committees, you send the names to those committees. What is the process for those committees to give you updated information, who's showing up, who's not? If you're only running this.
They don't even take.
They never send
And I wouldn't impose that on them actually, Tina, so I wouldn't expect, I thought where Larry was going was. They also need to send stuff directly to Carmen, and I'm
Yes,
wondering if.
that's what
if Carmen
that's
not
what I'm-
seeing those emails, like, we
Right.
don't want them to track who's showing up. and
It's
who
more,
isn't.
it's more of that.
It's more of,
Well, we
well,
don't,
she said, well, no, Carmen said she doesn't remember volunteering, so in her mind, she wasn't appointed to, so it's not, I don't think it's a situation where. She knows she's on the committee and she's just not going. She actually says she doesn't remember volunteering.
for future note, when you're reaching out, post the selection committee decision, when you're contacting the clerk or the chair of that committee, CC our council members that,
Okay.
that's
great.
like, oh, if
Inform.
Carmen
Yeah.
had been CC'd on, okay, Carmen is now your new appointee. And here's her contact information and all that.
It'd be hard for.
It's hard for
Because
Carmen to
that's when
say,
she
no.
should say, oh, it was.
Right,
but-
hey,
but-
I just, right.
yeah. So going forward, because we know Carmen either doesn't want to serve or she doesn't remember, we need to appoint someone for the rest of the term.
Right.
And it would be funny if at the meeting Carmen volunteers again.
Text me when that happens,
Yeah.
I won't be here.
Okay,
And in February, you had elected a vice chair. So that, I took that off of the agenda. I figured the vice chair is there for a year. And then the other thing is, I don't know, when we talked with Jenny about the rules for the city, how the city selection committee works, is that something that needs to be voted on by the
That's what
committee?
she said.
So that should,
Yep.
so I should add
you said
that.
that.
Yeah, Jenny said that, and so it's for me and Larry to review and give Jenny dates, so she can find out, I said, John.
And it really does track state laws, so we're not trying to add too many procedures, and Jenny just had a couple of open questions for you both.
And one thing, is that the one where we had to get a county clerk to
Yes.
We did,
run?
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we do have, I have confirmed.
Thank you. Okay,
And so my plan is, and I hope that's okay, so I have to upload. Am I uploading it on Monday? I believe I'm uploading it on Monday. Am I?
No.
Sorry,
No, a week after.
a week after. Okay, well, these, I'm gonna send out the notice of appointments, so hopefully I'll hear back from Les. And Sandy Woods and some other clerks that I've contacted. I'd like to send the notice of open seats out on Monday
Yes.
and
so
have.
Russ is turning for his seat. And needs to be up.
I also got the letter.
Okay, just checking. So it's ALUC, which we talked about. It's FOCMed,
Yes.
EOAC. So are those term limited or those?
Well, I'm actually just going by when the term expires,
Okay.
the appointment term expires.
So if you can, so probably send an email to each of these boards just to confirm the seat that we have, because just to read.
Yeah.
And please just tell me who's there. Yeah, we'll figure out whether or not they're interested, but are they finishing? But some of those, you apply and your term is finally over, and then you can't there's those. So that there depending, and this is the whole, there's too many differing JPAs and organizations that I can't keep track of what's what, but yeah, so I think, just having these four and then a lot of changes.
Because the bulk of the appointments we did in February. So my last question to you then is, do you want to start the meeting at 5:30 or 6?
Because we don't have ledge. So you
6
have the ability to do it
6 o'clock is
an hour.
for what we have here, it shouldn't be. We'll be lucky to get people that want to serve on the board reports. And usually, in general, that's a maximum about 10 minutes per, so that should be about 40 minutes. The bylaws are minor changes. It should be fine.
Okay.
Any other questions about the city selection agenda?
No, you guys feel like they're all set?
Yeah.
So what's the did you already send out the application email?
No, I just wanted to, after this body.
So what day is
approves the
today? Today is Friday, so we're gonna give folks, you're sending it out.
They'll send it out on Monday. These are the open seats. And what they have to do is submit a letter of interest to me. Also, what I put in that email is everyone is allowed to give a 1-minute speech.
Yeah.
And if you have anyone who wants to advocate for you, is that a 1 minute or 30 seconds of advocacy?
And you can lay out, it's up to you and Andrew, if you want to lay out that much detail in that email, that you can explain at the beginning, Larry can explain at the beginning.
Do that at the meeting.
Like
It all
focus your
depends on
email.
how many applications we have. Some of these will be slam dunks because we'll have 2 applicants or less for 1 or 2. We'll have 1 or 2 applicants for 2 open positions, and it will be nothing, and we'll see who's interested in what.
So you'll send that out Monday, and then when are you asking for applications back?
So last year, we wanted them back in advance so that I can put them as part of the agenda packet and post it. So that it gives them 2 weeks to get it back to me. However, they're allowed to nominate themselves or anybody from the floor. So if they would like to do that, some people didn't get their letters in on time. And so what I did was just make 15 copies of the letters and just pass it around, like physical copies of the letter.
So the deadline is basically at the meeting.
Pretty much.
But-
Oh,
If you can
interesting.
nominate yourself from the floor.
Right.
Right, but ask for
Yes.
by Friday, by a week from today.
Okay.
I think that makes sense.
Hmm.
And they have a week to get things together, so they have next Friday for executive board as well as a city selection.
Because I will tell you what I know has happened in the past, the value in putting these letters of interest in the packet. There are people who will go look at the packet to see if anybody
Oh.
applied for a seat. And if they
Okay.
see that no one applied for a seat, then they will come and apply for the seat.
Right.
Because they're like, oh, no competition, it's open, I
Okay.
will apply for the seat.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've seen that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anyone online who wishes to speak? Any other comments? Anyone online wishing to speak? Okay. Thank you, that is my item.
Thank you. So then we'll move to the agenda, the proposed agenda for the board meeting, the next board meeting, and you all have a copy. We started going over it. The only outstanding item that Shali and I will still need to confirm is item number 5. Item number 3, it's a carryover from our last board meeting. And again, that ties in with our mental health theme for the year. And I hear this presentation is going to be really good for the Citizens Association, showing the work that the county's doing that impacts our cities. And then on the JP, it's going to be the anti-harassment policy, which Andrew already covered. The ballot and nominating committee, as you all know, we sent out the email, and based on the timeline, by this next board meeting, we will have the proposed ballot and the nominating committee recommendations for each of the seats. And then Larry will give us update from the CSC meeting and updates, and that's it for the board meeting. Any questions?
So a couple of questions. So one is bringing Shali's point again, that you will present the nominating committee recommendations. At the same time, at the November 14th board meeting, people can nominate someone from the floor itself.
Yes.
That still stands.
Yeah, that's what it says, yeah.
Okay.
And we put that in the email.
Okay, and my other question was, because I don't know where else to ask, so I'm going to ask you
No,
now.
please.
That email exchange you said for the LAC, we are canceling the October LAC meeting, which
Yes.
is great. In November, I will give the year-end wrap-up for LAC in the board meeting.
Yes.
You also said something I could send that, I could give that update to LAC. Do you mean via email?
No, as the chair, it's up to you. This is not a requirement.
Mhm.
But as the chair, you could still have like a half an hour or an hour LAC meeting, just to do a final wrap up with your committee. Because you haven't had that, right? And you all have worked on different fields for the year. So just to say, you know, just that, very similar to what I know you have planned for the board, but with your committee members, just giving them a summary of what got passed, what happened, get feedback from them. This is what I like doing, about things that they would like to see next year for LAC. Again, I know all our calendars are full, so I'm not trying to put in another meeting on your calendar or the LAC members' calendar. It's a suggestion. I actually think there's value in it, and if you don't have the time, Tina, it's okay.
I like the value from it. I can make the time, it's on my schedule. And it will be after the election, so even the other board members or LAC members who are candidates would be free from the elections. So I think people should be able to make it. And since it's an update that I'm anyway giving to the board that night itself,
Right.
I might as well, I have no issues in having a 30 to 60-minute LAC meeting prior to it. And if people don't come, they don't come, because we don't need quorum, because I am not getting votes for that.
Right.
So even if it's a few, I have no issues in, if nothing else, we collect some feedback, what worked, what didn't. And I'll get that wrap up there, maybe a little more detail than what I would give to the board like an hour or two later. So I'm totally.
And I have a suggestion for you. I could also see if the Peninsula Division Regional Manager can come and help you with the wrap up. Like give a presentation, and we still have our interim. We're hoping that within the next couple of months, we'll have a permanent regional manager selected. But even if we don't, Sam, who's our interim, she's amazing. So either Sam or new regional manager, I can see if he or she's available.
Perfect.
Yes,
So
I think we go.
Yeah, so can you please make a note right now that in November, I know we're not discussing that, but I figured this is the only time I could get that done. So for November, we will have a 6 o'clock LAC meeting. I think 1 hour should be plenty.
Yeah.
The regional manager can speak and we can sort out the details and I can give the wrap up.
Yeah.
Which I'm anyway presenting, as I said, that very night I have to present to the board.
Right.
So it's not an issue. Let's do it, and I think that's a good way, that's a really good way to wrap up that whole year.
Yeah.
Because the team did a lot of good work.
Yeah.
And we were able to send a lot of those letters, and I was driving some of them in some meetings hurriedly, let's go through this. Go through.
And it's like saying, this is all we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is a good way to.
So just for my clarification, the regional manager will give an update in the LAC meeting?
Yes, not the board meeting.
Okay.
Tina will be the only one for the board.
Yeah, will you please tell me? Because there are just way too many things happening, and I've learned that some things I don't remember all the nuances.
Anything else on the board meeting? And so during my president's update, that's when I will announce that we're recommending Joe and Momentum for Health. Hopefully I'll have all the information for the holiday party and let them know, you know, well, it actually may need to be an agenda item, Charlotte, the holiday party to change the date.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
so I'll add that.
Yeah, so that needs to be added.
Do you want me to put specifically date change?
Yeah.
No, just holiday party
Update.
discussion and
Yeah.
holiday party update.
And that's it. Any public comment on the board of, okay, thank you. Next, we will move to the city manager's update, which we know we don't have, and so Shali, executive director update.
Okay, super quick, oh, and before we wrap up, we have to vote to.
So moved,
Okay,
and we can do both at the same time.
okay.
So a move to approve the city selection committee and the board of directors agendas for the amendments made at today's meeting.
Second,
Motion to approve the October 10th, 2024 meeting agendas with the, I'll get the correct language from thing, but with the amendments by Flagger, second by Klein, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Change the dates and the timings on the front cover for vote and the timings.
Oh.
One said September
Oh,
12th,
yeah.
the other city selection, we moved the time to
Ah, yeah,
5:30.
Sorry.
So just
No,
bring
no,
it
but
to your,
I will say.
yeah, bring it to your
Thank you.
attention.
The last thing I just wanted to mention as part of my update is that I had a really good conversation. So you know all the JPA formation stuff that I've been doing, so that's. I had a good conversation with and collaborative consultants. I meet with them bi-weekly. And the reason I'm bringing it up now is because, as you probably know, Mayor Klein, I did not convene the website subcommittee. But they are willing to revamp our website for us, for a smaller.
Collaborative.
Yes, because so this,
I
yeah,
didn't know they had that skill set.
yeah, well, they've been doing all the ADAs, all the ADAs.
Websites.
Right,
so they did give me some details on how the money has to be spent, the money, and how quickly it has to be spent. And so one of the major projects they want to do is a website. It's a public website, but it's really of value for internal city staff both, right? And
But
since
housing focus or?
housing, yeah, it's not the EDU website.
Right, but not the cities association update.
Yeah.
They're as part of their budget, they already plan to do
Yes.
a new
a
site.
new
for-
website dedicated to housing. Got it.
And I'll tell you why, because they have a page on our website and it's too clunky and it's not really working for them. They can't put videos on there, as we can't either, by the way, that's why we go to YouTube. And so they wanted to create a separate website and they said, well, I still want the cities association brand because it's still ours.
Right.
So they will do all of that. They'll do a and then I said, well, you think our website is kind of clunky. I think it's kind of clunky. And so that's how we started talking about revamping our website. And so there might be a cost savings where if they're working on that other website, that's gonna have our branding anyway, if they can help us with our website.
So I know this wasn't agendized, maybe
Yeah.
the website subcommittee can look into this. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with them creating a separate website that's really the cities association content. That should actually, if we should address the issues they have with our current website so that whatever they develop is on our website. It needs to be housed on our website, as opposed to having a separate website that has cities association information.
Okay, so this is what okay, I got it now, because that's what they cannot do on our website.
No, I know that, so that's what I'm
Oh, I
saying.
see what you're saying.
We need to update our current website and address the issues they're
Right.
having with our website, the inability to do videos, like whatever issues. And then put whatever content related to housing on our website. They shouldn't create a separate website that's a cities association website. It's one thing if it was a planning collaborative website and they're gonna have a link for us. But if this website, using funds allocated to the cities association,
Yes.
is a cities association website, that page and content should reside on our website. We shouldn't have two different.
So, thank you. Adding to that, does that mean if they really want to do it, then Shally can reach out to Larry and we can have the website update or something?
Yeah.
So that their stuff doesn't get delayed, because now we know they
Their
can't.
stuff is going to get delayed.
They can't park it outside.
We'll leave it at that now, their stuff is delayed.
But
And I
if they're
don't-
offering
what-
to do our website update too, it's all together, right?
But they're not offering to do our stuff.
So they're offering to do our
Yeah.
website.
They are, but we would have to pay them as a separate
I know.
contract, but
Yeah.
yes.
Oh.
We have to
Make it up,
something else
yes.
anyway.
So it might be a little bit cheaper for us to use them to update
And
our,
they'll be motivated because they wanna do their page.
exactly,
No, no,
they'll be
no,
doing it all at the same
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to add, that we can't take action on that right now.
No, I'm
But-
updating on the conversation.
I
that we're
agree,
having.
and I'm adding to that, because Larry's the one who's heading that one, and I'm on that.
And just
So
as
I'm
a heads up,
Right.
You want to add that? I can let you.
No.
just as a,
They're in December.
There you go.
we may have to change our web hosts, like whoever's
Oh,
hosting our
I'm
website.
sure we will.
Yeah.
Because that's why we can't have this.
That's why it's so clunky, it's,
10,000. Voted on it, we have our subcommittee,
Right.
they can work with the. You guys had delegations to pick the vendor to work with. You're gonna pick, like I actually did, it can happen.
it'll work.
Great, and that's it. Thank you, Shally. If no more questions for Shally, Andrew, checking in with you before we adjourn.
Nothing else from me. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Andrew, have a good weekend.
Bye,
You too.
Andrew.
All right,
Good to see you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
bye.
Bye.
We have 6.